Hey, everybody!
Hi.
Liz is just getting settled in here, getting all of our stuff together for this Wake and Bake show.
Welcome,
My
welcome.
goodness.
I'm like already getting hot.
I'm already too hot, Dave.
Yeah.
Take it off, girl. Careful, it's YouTube. Can't get
Whatever.
too risque.
Wow, YouTube doesn't understand what
Although there are tits all
risque
over
is.
YouTube.
I was
that's
gonna
all I'm
say,
saying.
YouTube and Instagram have been doing this thing where they're trying to censor people, and it's dumb. If people want to show their titties, let them show their titties, okay?
Certain videos out there, man, you're seeing tits all over the place. That's all I'm saying.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
there's nothing. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if somebody wants to do it, and it's a way of showing their body and expressing themselves, then there's nothing wrong with being a little sexual.
Yeah. All right. So we need to get started with the blessing.
Okay.
And then we're going to bring in today's mystery treat. Because I said it was a mystery treat on social media.
Oh, you did?
Eat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that
It's
you
a
told
thing
people
now.
that we were eating something.
Yeah, I said mystery treat.
Oh, okay.
So you don't know yet.
Well, first, before we get started, do you know what we're smoking? Do you remember this time?
El Diablo.
Nice. Hi, what's up, E? How are you doing?
Yo, what's up, dude? Just getting started.
Yes, we're just getting started. We're having El Diablo this morning, as Dave said.
Yeah, I just got a fun, fantastic message from our friend. Oh, Mr. Gatsby, are you okay?
From Devin, our bud tender.
Yeah, he's like, you need some weed because we got a fresh batch.
I'm super excited.
Fresh batch.
We love Devin's weed. Devin's bud is
so good.
It's good shit.
Top choice. Anyway.
All right, so today we're smoking out of this little bowl here today. We're not gonna be bonging it up today. Let's get our.
Can't bong it up every day.
No, we can't bong it up every day. Where's the lighter?
Here.
Oh, okay. Because I wanted to open up the space here real quick. So I'm using my little nub of my higher consciousness bundle.
Don't do that to me when I'm drinking. My little nub. I'm using my little nub,
I'm using
guys.
my little nub today.
Oh my goodness. Terrible.
We're going to burn my little nub. I'll open up the space.
I can put it on here, maybe.
So yes, this is my higher consciousness bundle that I make. You can find it on ameaningfuldream.com if you're curious. If not, that's totally okay. You're here for the vibes, and that's great.
Clear the space.
Just to get us in that mood, because I'm not gonna lie, this morning you have been on another level and I have not.
All the farting?
Wasn't referring to that, but sure, if you want to tell everybody that you've been farting up a storm this morning.
Gassy morning for me.
Oh my god. That's not what I meant, but yeah, it has been a very gassy morning for you.
Hey, you gotta liven up the show whenever you get a chance. So I found a chance and I took it.
Yes, yeah. You sure as hell took it, that's for sure. You sure as hell stunk it up, that's for sure too.
Yeah,
no, actually they haven't stunk, so that's nice. That's good to know. So okay, good. I'll open up the space. Let's open up ourselves, our hearts and our minds and our soul as we have this nice wake and bake sesh.
All right.
Stop trying to rush.
I'm trying to rush.
It's
We're already
fine.
5 minutes in, girl.
It's fine. We're only 3 minutes in according to this.
I love how that's our thing. Like I'm the one who's
You're always trying to rush, man. It's rushing the process.
Like, I need to take
as one does, E says. Yeah.
As one does.
As one does.
It's a bodily function, people. Deal with it.
Deal with Dave's farts. This is what he just
No, I said
deal with Dave's farts.
Deal with farts in general. Like, I always hated that. You're always just like, oh, that's so gross. You shouldn't do that. You should keep it in. No, you shouldn't keep it in. That's bad for you.
It is bad for you,
That's right.
Technically.
Let's go.
Okay. Stop rushing me. I don't like being rushed, especially in the morning.
You were Russian? So
wow,
funny.
we're extra sassy this morning. Okay, ready?
Sure.
It's just like, sure, whatever.
I'm going to get to this treat before it cools off.
Okay. All right, ready? So we're going to get into the blessing. Let's take a deep breath. Let him be up here.
He was
wants to
getting
be
his
part of
nose
the
in my
show.
orange juice.
Oh.
My goodness.
Just to say, if he wants to be a part of the show, let him be a part of the show.
You didn't want my glass on the table, so I put it on the
No,
floor.
I was actually trying to move it in the middle of the table because he's going to jump up here. Told you.
But I need to get the treat.
Oh, well, I need to get the treat.
Gatsby.
He's a part of the show now too.
So much disruption. All right, go ahead.
Okay, it's the only time he ever disrupts anything too. Ready? Bless you, Mary Jane, and thank you for being here with us today. May this microdose of a show be opening of the hearts and the minds and the perspectives of those listening and watching, whether now or later. May we have a dope time and have lots of laughter and share our experiences and our joy with our audience. Thank you, bless you, and amen.
Bam!
Yay!
You should stop saying amen and just say bam!
Like yeah, no, I'm sorry. So dope it, or what is it? So mote it be, so dope it be.
So dope it be.
So dope it be.
Love it.
So dope it be.
What's that
All
long
right,
ass
so I'm going to do, if you hold them in, they go up your spine and stick in your brain. That's where shitty ideas come from. Science.
I love that so much.
Oh, wow.
Thank you so much for that.
Wow,
Eve.
yeah, thank you, Eve. That was great. Okay, so for today, our special little treat.
Mystery treat. This is a
Can
fucking
you see a
UFO?
spaceship?
Is this a
Yeah.
UFO landing?
No. It's a UFO tree.
A UFO tree. Unidentified tree.
Unidentified tree. It's a flying in the air. We like it though because
Unidentified
it is
tree.
Fruity Pebble funnel cake.
And only half of
And
one.
only half of it because we made the other half yesterday.
Wow. It's just like next level production value on this show.
Look at that. And on a fancy plate.
Yeah. Just loving it. It's super good though. Like this
It is really
like
good.
ultimate stoner food right here.
It really is.
I didn't think about eating this at time did we eat this last night? Like 1
Like
a.m.
1 o'clock in the morning.
And you were like, funnel cake. And I'm like,
And I was like, well,
what?
let's put frosting
Like,
on
I'm
it.
about ready to go to sleep, girl. Like you're about gonna get a sugar rush at 1 o'clock in the morning.
I was fine. I slept great. That's partly why I'm still I've been struggling. But I'm not somebody, I'll be very honest. I do not wake up very easily in the morning. I am not the nicest person in the morning. If you wake me up and I don't want to be woken up, then you better watch out because I'll be I won't be mean, but I'll be very sassy and short. And I don't mean to be, but that's just who I am. I'm working on it. So
what's up?
we have this little funnel cake. It's so random. We have this funnel cake stand that just is set up somewhere in a neighborhood not too far from us.
You know what's funny is you should have stopped it right there. We have a funnel cake stand. Done. Like everybody be like, what the fuck? You guys have a funnel cake stand in your yard?
Higher consciousness. We elevated it. We have
That'll be our first investment. We've always said that we want to invest in local business, especially if it's a marijuana business.
Marijuana funnel cake.
Marijuana funnel cake van,
somebody.
Truck, bus, whatever the
van.
fuck. Yeah, van. Dirty van down by the river where I sell weed funnel cake. Weed infused funnel cake for the kids.
Has anyone done weed funnel cake? That would be really good, actually.
I'm sure this is a fucking America, honey.
I mean,
I'm
that's
sure
true.
somebody's done it. God damn, this is a good funnel cake. And
Yeah.
the best thing about it is the air fryer. Careful. Don't kill yourself.
I'm fine.
We have a show to do.
We're doing
a show
it.
currently.
We're doing it. If I die on air, then this is
No, we're doing another show later. I need you.
well.
Well, air
We'll see.
fryer. This has been air fried.
Yeah, this has been air fried. So we got this.
So good.
I had to go do a couple of errands and drop off some packages at the post office yesterday. And so I figured while I was out, because again, there's just random stand for funnel cake. And there's this other stand that's supposed to be fries and stuff, but they're never open.
No, not just fries. It's
Fries, barbecue
pork sandwiches and barbecue chicken, catfish, all the good shit that you want for lunch.
Yeah, it's
but
never
that
open.
thing is never open.
But the
It's
funnel
always a
cake
goddamn funnel cake thing with I think corn dogs is about the most substantial thing they sell there.
Food that they have. Well, they sell elephant ears too. So, but it's cool because it's not too far from us, and I figured yesterday was a nice day, and I don't know. I wanted to treat myself, and then we figured we'll have some of this for the show since we've been doing donuts, and
I was not about to continue to buy donuts every week.
No,
I mean, it's good every once in a while, but I just lost like 20 pounds. I don't want to gain 40 pounds
from the donuts.
Just straight donuts every week.
Oh my god.
So yeah, the funnel cake has been good, especially with the fruity pebble.
It was only $1 extra. The funnel cake by itself was
only $1 extra.
Yeah, it was only.
How much is a box of it?
A funnel cake, a regular funnel cake by itself without any toppings aside powdered sugar was like $9. But then for $10,
really?
Yeah,
$9
for $10 you could get the whipped cream and the fruity pebbles on top.
Man.
Things aren't cheap anymore, man.
Gas is like $3.
Yeah, gas is like $3. Wow, we're just like old people now complaining about how expensive everything is.
I was just talking about the other day I saw this post on social media about how people that were born between the years of 85 and 95 are the most unique generation because we're that transitionary generation. Like I was born in 86 and you're born in 92. Yep. So like we're born in that period of time where we're on the cusp. We were born on the cusp of the internet age, but we were still not immersed in it, right? Mm-hmm. Like when I was a kid, I spent most of my days outside in the forest, man. Like I was
walking around in the forest.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't
kids these days, right?
Playing b-ball outside of my school, but
some b-ball outside of my school.
You gotta say it like that. You can't say it straight because it sounds weird.
Well, a couple of guys, they were in the trouble in my neighborhood.
All right. Anyway,
one little fight.
No, we can't finish it.
My mom got scared. I'm sorry.
I was building.
You were trolling me this morning. This is your payback. I love you.
I was always building like forts in the forest or like going on adventures and excursions through the forest and shit like that. I would not have had that same experience if I'd have been born today or even 10 years ago, even 20 years ago. You know what I mean? We grew up in a particular time, which I don't think anybody's really going to get back again.
No, not like the time
unless we go to like the after times. Like there's no electricity and we're back to like Puritan life. Till the yard, son. We might get a good winter this year, I'm not sure.
Hopefully we survive it. That was how it was back in the day though. Like to see that consciousness is like same.
It's like same.
It's like same.
It's same.
Same.
It's same.
Well, it's interesting how consciousness has been able to grow and develop, especially in this time frame that you were just speaking of, because we were in a split time where we were growing up in this time where technology was being developed, but it wasn't, like you said, fully integrated into our culture yet. So
I mean, fucking Katie Couric was on
like very
Today's Show, like, what's the internet? What's the emails? Like that.
That's
kind
right.
Of level.
That was like, yeah.
No one
knew what that was. And
unless you were one of those like leading edge people. You were like one of those techies from the mid to late 80s. They were like, oh God, it's coming, guys. It's coming. Like I remember my dad. My dad, he was born in 1939. We were watching Jupiter's Legacy, and like they have characters in there that were around in the 1920s during the stock market crash. My dad was born well after that, but he was still born, during World War II, like at the beginning of World War II, basically. And to think about all of the history that he's actually lived through, like he was my age, like, well, actually he was in his mid-20s in the 60s. Like that's like insane to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But to think he still has adapted through the years. He remembers computers when they existed in a room. Like it
oh my
took
God,
an
take a whole
room or like a floor
of
an office building.
Fucking dial up, man. Sorry.
I mean, but like to think about how far we have come in such a relatively short period of time.
Mm-hmm.
It is, I think, pretty amazing to future think about where we're going to be when I'm his age.
Oh
You
my
know what
God.
I mean?
We're
Like,
gonna be quantum.
you can't. I don't think anyone of his age at that time period could have ever foreseen the world that we have now.
Oh gosh, no, I don't.
So
think so.
I don't necessarily believe that anything we can come up with or dream up with right now is going to be truly reflective of what the future is going to look like in 50 years.
Oh, I think it's gonna be
You know?
so
I
different. I mean,
we
especially
have to live
with
so much more of our lives to live than we've already lived.
right.
It's
And we
insane.
have so much that's happening right now that I'm sure, like, I have no doubt, especially with like the
Ow.
things like SpaceX that are happening, things that, you know, there's a lot
Before
of research and science being put towards exploring space, exploring like different times, you know, psychedelics. We were just watching. I don't want to bib. Get the fuck out of here.
I'm funny, damn it. Anyway, go ahead.
Sometimes.
Them's fighting words, girl.
I only speak the truth, Dave.
All right, so moving on.
No, but what I was saying is that we're gonna be living in a really unique time because we were just watching Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia, which is one of my favorite shows. I really love it. And
Oh no, you don't just love it; you're obsessed.
I'm obsessed with it.
With it.
I love it. I love it.
Hamilton is your favorite man alive.
He's not my favorite man alive.
I don't know. I think he edges me out.
Gatsby is. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, he is here.
Oh
You don't
my
want to
God.
speak ill of him.
No, I don't want to speak ill of him. I just wanted to see Dave.
Oh.
See, Dave, I'm funny.
Yes, you are funny. I tell you, you're funny all the time.
Thank you.
My goodness. Get to your point.
But
woman.
anyway, so with Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia, what they were discovering was that there's this new gateway being opened for psychedelics. There's essentially, they have been
New
able
frontier.
to, like a whole new
Psychedelic
frontier.
creation.
They have basically discovered the receptor and like what causes these psychedelic experiences. So now they can actually develop psychedelics
Design.
from the root up, like because they understand the whole how the brain functions with them, how
They
the
know
brain
how to-
receives them.
They know how these things lock into particular receptors because like the visualization of what they actually look like is complex. I mean, it's not
it's
just
very
like
complex. Like
it's not
a
just
bunch of like atoms and stuff.
yeah, it's not well. It's not like you've seen like diagrams before where it almost looks like a C. You know, like the receptors like
Damn
a
it.
C and like the
This
molecule.
feels
Like,
rough.
let's not take such big.
I'm not trying.
So you have like the receptor here, and then you have like the molecule or whatever that comes into it, and it looks so easy. You know, it looks just like it's just like a perfect fit.
Mhm.
No, this thing is like this complex. Like the receptor is like this complex thing, and then the molecules this other little complex thing that like locks in. You know, it's amazingly complicated.
Very.
And to think that we got the technology to map that in a 3D experience or environment in which we can observe it and make adjustments, design things that are more perfectly, going to fit within those areas. And to think that nature itself has created these things already.
Yeah, and like there's so many like LSD is
And we're
in
just
nature,
copying.
DMT.
We are quite literally just
Shrooms.
copying and playing around with that like an artist would copy another style
Yeah.
that they like and
Mhm.
enjoy and express that and maybe change something a little bit different to make it unique for them.
Yeah.
Same exact experience, same exact drive,
Right.
right? Like
Mhm.
everything has a drive to it. All of consciousness has like a innate sort of energy, and behind that energy we have passion and we have drive.
Mhm.
And that pushes us to create, pushes us to survive, it pushes us to reproduce, it pushes us to do everything that we do.
Hey, Ginge, what's up?
Yo, Ginge! What up?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And I think, for a while I was kind of against the concept of synthesizing different kinds of psychedelics.
Me too.
But
a big
after
fan.
watching, no, I wasn't a big fan because I do think that nature does have, it's very
That's how you
different.
do it.
Like nature knows what's up. Nature knows how to put the right ingredients.
Mother
into-
Nature is a smart mother.
Yeah, she really is. She really is. And so, that there is a difference, I think, of feeling and experience when you have nature. But when it becomes a thing, when it harms nature or it gets in the way of nature with like the
the bufungal.
How do you pronounce it? Bufungal bufario?
Something like that.
It's basically like the toad venom.
The toad venom.
The toad psychedelic venom. There's an issue where it's becoming so popular that now these toads are endangered, and
they're over harvesting them.
They're over
They're not harvesting them in the correct way.
No, they're killing them.
Sustainable way. They're just killing them.
Yeah, they're not being sustainable about it.
Like
they're not letting them go back.
Doing it a little bit harder, where you're catching them and you're what they call milking them.
Yeah, milking the toad, which they basically squeeze the top of the toad and it sticks the venom on a piece of glass.
Oh man,
you milk the toad.
That's got to be an interesting.
And then you smoke it.
It's got to be an interesting title for a business card. Just toad milker. Professional toad milker.
That's great.
I've got the fingers, the magic toad milking fingers.
E says, you guys are hilarious. You're headed to get back to writing. Hasta mañana. That worked better in my... Oh, wait. Hasta mangana?
Manganja.
Manganja. Oh, okay. I didn't see that. I see.
I love it.
Sorry, E. I totally botched that. That worked better in your head.
Take
hell
care.
Yeah, that's
Appreciate
awesome.
it. Have a great day.
Yeah.
Make sure later today we're going to be doing our first episode in
part 1 of shrooms, which you'll want to listen to that one.
Exactly. So we're doing that later today, and it'll be up at 8:00 tonight. YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts.
Yeah, both places.
Absolutely.
So
what's the time?
We got time. We got 21 minutes. So it's when it becomes a thing where now nature is becoming endangered, or the toads are now becoming endangered. And yes, I do think that this toad medicine is important and is definitely, I think, necessary. But if we can find a way to synthesize it and still have a very similar experience and still preserve these toads, because remember, these toads are sacred animals too, and this is sacred medicine. And so once the toads are gone, that medicine is gone.
Running through there
from them. Yeah. And I think there's an even exchange when we allow the sacred animals, even if we don't partake, if we can figure out a way, I think, to synthesize it. And
they're talking about a synthesizer.
And yes, it may not be different. And it's like, well, what's the difference if you can synthesize it and the toads aren't here? Well, then the energy of the toad is gone. I think even though you synthesize it, even though you're not partaking in the toad itself, because the toad is still alive and very present in nature, you can easily connect to that medicine, I think, more. And who's to say that the toads didn't come and give us this recipe to synthesize to save them? Because I think everything is energy and everything is connected. So if they're dead, it's not to say you couldn't connect to them, but it would be a different experience. Right. Ginge has some things to say. Most intense psychedelic I had was acid a few times, followed by mushrooms once. You're more interested in doing mushrooms again, less so than acid. You like to learn more about microdosing mushrooms. Well, we will talk about that in the first
episode.
Yeah, this is going to be a perfect episode. We're going to talk about that, and we'll talk about some of our trips.
Whoa there.
And things like that. What?
I'm just watching that table.
Oh, okay.
My goodness.
It's fine. What were you going to say?
I was going to say, when it comes to these types of things, it is a personal choice. Like I've thought about it myself in the past about synthetic, substances versus actual substances. Because there's
what acid is.
But it's like the natural occurring DMT that's within ayahuasca, or the synthetic version of DMT that's smoked. Two different experiences, yet a similar deity or a similar entity that you encounter from the experiences that people have said that have done both. Mm-hmm. And I've never I haven't done ayahuasca. I attempted to do synthetic DMT once when I was by myself. I got it from a buddy of mine who had a source. And I was a little timid of it. So the billow baggie that he gave me, I only did half. And he told me I should have done all of it because I didn't get enough to really break through. But what happened was he said, put it onto a cached bowl like maybe like one hit left in a marijuana bowl, and let the flame just sort of vaporize it and use it that way. And I did, and it was like an instant mushroom trip. Like my consciousness felt like it went from my head all the way about 50 feet above my head.
Damn.
And it felt like everything around me was hyper saturated in color. Everything around me was an instant oil painting. Like everything was sort of just like shimmering and watery and liquidy and that kind of thing.
That's so cool.
And I just remember sounds were like echoey, like everything was very like multidimensional, but it only lasted for about 5 seconds. And then I heard a noise to my right. I was obviously outside in the woods, and I heard a noise to my right, and I saw this deer, and it freaked me out because I wasn't sure if the deer was real or not. So when I started having that thought of, is this real or not? I like immediately came back down into my body, and it was done. So it was like, it wasn't enough to like really truly push you up there and keep you up there.
Yeah.
You
got a little experience.
But yeah, it was like I said, an instant mushroom trip. Like typically with mushrooms, there's a gradual sort of like a roller coaster.
And then you get to the top and you ride up there.
Like, oh boy, okay.
Yep.
Get on all the campuses. I gotta do 9 paintings tonight.
You're Dave, yeah. It's just very much what happens. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something.
I don't know. What were you gonna say? We only got a couple minutes left.
I don't remember it. I totally forgot what it. That's what it was. It's interesting that you bring up deer because this morning so every single morning.
Watch for deer.
Yeah, that too.
Go ahead.
Sorry. So every single morning I write in my dream journal. So I'm an avid dream person. I keep track of my dreams.
I'm a dream person.
I use it a lot in my work. I use it to help me understand myself subconsciously and consciously and, in the future as well. I have a lot of prophetic dreams and
fucking bird fight going on.
I know there is like a bird fight going on. They're probably fighting over the bird seed out there. So I wrote deer this morning. Like that was the first line that I wrote from my spirit guides was deer. And like I know that I didn't dream about a deer.
Interesting.
But the fact that you said was there a deer?
Yeah, it was specifically a deer.
Yeah. So
like,
deer.
Like buck deer, like antlers deer.
It sounds like it was real in the ethereal. It was like you're in that split time.
But that's the thing
when
is
you were coming down.
You are while we exist right now, we exist within the conscious, framework, the ethereal, field. Even though this world is bound by time and space and we're very heavy and physical, we are still part of the matrix if you want to think about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
So in a way, do not sneeze on me, my man. He's been snotty all morning and I just do not want to get snotted on. But anyway, to close this out, I just think it's interesting that we're still always connected to it and that we can have things like that come up in our daily lives that coexist or simultaneously with the experiences that we're actively choosing to engage in.
Yep.
So like I had that experience. Who's to say that deer wasn't specifically called to me and existed in reality, not just in my mind, right? Like,
but in a different dimension.
But in a way, that deer was guided, right? Or was in a way, our paths both were guided to cross. As we have our neighbors yelling outside with their dogs. So I think that's a good opportunity to end the show for today. We're at capacity, I believe. Almost.
Well, we're about to be here. So
we're about to be
here.
And I'm almost done with my orange juice.
Yeah, same with my
coffee. Said we were gonna eat all this funnel cake.
It's very sweet.
So effing filling.
It's
too.
very sweet and filling. It's basically fried bread.
Fried dough.
Yeah. Fried dough.
It's
big fried dough.
I know I was like, I'm not gonna get donuts every week, but so fucking dumb.
But no, it's still for we're having it's pancake week for our food week.
Yeah,
so this goes in line with our cake week.
It's funny that it was pancake week, and I tried to make this like Asian stuffed pancake, but it basically turned into dumplings. Like
really good though.
I mean, I'm not mad about it. It was really good.
It was very good.
But
very good.
they were supposed to be like these big old like meat pie cake things, and the recipe said, cut it up into 12, and I did, and then I rolled it out. But they were like, dumplings.
They're like giant dumplings.
But they were giant dumplings. They're
very big.
They're like that big.
So. But anyway, thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for watching our ridiculousness. And the
Wake and Bake half-hour
like
micro show.
Yes, I feel more awake now. I definitely feel much more awake now. So I'm very. You feel sleepy? What happened? Did we just switch?
We often do. That's what happens.
That's great. So if you want to find us on social media, you can visit our website at higher-consciousness-talk.com. If you're already watching this, you're on our YouTube channel, so don't forget to like the video and subscribe so you can stay updated. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, we have a brand new video and podcast coming out. And it will be part 1 of Shrooms.
Oh, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
We might have an extra guest tonight. I'm not sure.
We might have an extra guest.
See.
We'll see.
I don't know.
We'll see what happens. But then
on I don't know. Maybe. Go ahead.
And then our part 2 will be coming out with a podcast from the UK called Mostly Nothing. So that will be coming out next week too. So
I love that
part
conversation.
2 of Shrooms. Yeah, that was
recorded
a great
that already. It was fantastic though. They were great people.
They were great people.
They've had
some
experiences with mushrooms as well, so it was a fun conversation.
Yeah, it was nice.
From across the pond.
Across the pond.
Across the pond. They were like, God, you Americans.
I know. No, they did not say that. They did not say that.
You silly Americans.
Ginge said, good show, guys. You're at work today, or you would have been more active today. No worries,
dude.
Good. It's good that you were here, and you'll be able to watch this again afterwards. And you can interact still. We may not be live, but you can still interact by leaving like a comment or something.
Right.
So, but anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hit that button, girl.